Cool, now you did it. You are now listening to Viking Web Productions podcast. Don't look at me, you did this to yourself. Now, let's sit back and listen to Eric with his dribble this time.
So let's talk about battery life, because I actually had a very interesting conversation with somebody today, because she just bought a brand new laptop after her other one decided to crap out on her, and it was held together by Band-Aids, literally Band-Aids. I don't know how she figured to do that, and it managed to work for so long, but it worked. But she didn't know about the battery life in her new computer. And since I was going to go meet her at a outside location from my little cubby hole, she didn't know if she needed to bring her power cable. And since the right to repair is pretty prevalent right now, it's actually a very good conversation piece. So typically, if you have a brand new computer, you should be able to get 6 to 8 hours out of a battery charge. And of course, it's going to depend on what you're doing. So if you're like editing video or doing Photoshop or pretty intensive programs, it's going to decrease your battery life or your charge on your battery pretty quickly. Now, if you're just going through the internet or using Word or something like that, then you should be able to get the good 6 to 8 hours. Same for your phone. You don't really think about it too much, but your phone does use up quite a lot of battery very quickly, especially if your phone's older and it's on and off the charger all the time. But you should be able to get good 4 hours typically on your phone. I haven't gotten my hands on an iPhone 11, so I couldn't tell you how that one performs, but typically it's going to be around the 6 hour mark. Now, if you're on your phone and you're taking pictures and you're doing video, it's gonna suck the juice out of your battery. But then it comes down to, when should you be getting a battery change? Now, I've been doing lots of battery changes lately. It seems to be pretty much my go-to repair lately. Especially on laptops that you can't get to the battery easily, so you have to take the back cover off and unplug it and so forth. But if your battery is getting drained very quickly by just going onto the internet, then more than likely you need a battery swap. If you're on a Windows, well, any laptop will tell you, hey, your battery needs some attention. Depending on what your MacBook is or how new your Windows machine is, your battery replacement is going to be anywhere between $15 to $40. Good God. I'll have to edit that one out. Of course, now I have a hot flash. So, like I was saying before I started choking on everything, since right to repair is going pretty strong, a lot of these tech companies are saying that if you swap out your battery, your computer's going to blow up, or your phone's going to blow up, or technician that's swapping out the battery is going to kill you and him and everybody else in a 4-block radius. But that's not the case. As long as you don't puncture the battery, everything's fine. And there's tools and there's ways to get it out without puncturing it, and all it's going to do is start a little tiny fire, and that's about it. But like for a laptop battery, depending on again what model and year, it's going to take anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes to swap the battery, and you'll be on your way. For a phone, depending on your phone, it can take a little bit, because the adhesive that's on the back of them, or iPhones, it's on the face of them. You have to take the face off, and of course they're glued in, so it takes a couple minutes to get the tool in there to pry it out. But you'll be good to go. Now, iPhones, especially iPhones, will run a check on your battery and tell you that your battery is non-genuine, and you run the risk of blowing your phone up. But as long as you're not getting the battery off of the garbage can outside and you get it from a reputable source, you'll be good to go. And iPhone batteries are anywhere from $10 to $12. So you're just paying for the time to swap it out, and you'll be on your way relatively quick and cheaply. It's not going to cost $200 to replace a iPhone battery. If it does, then you're at the wrong place. But it's always good to keep track of how long it usually takes for your battery to drain, so that way you can either get it replaced or make sure you have your charger with you. Just like a battery, you can get a replacement charger too. You just got to make sure you get the right model number. And I can always help make sure that you get the right one. Just like any other repair shop, they should be able to help you get the right charger or battery. Now, I have had one person come in. He thought he was going to be brave and swap out the battery in his iPad mini. And then he realized that it's glued, and he didn't have the right tool for that. Plus, he couldn't find the right bit to take the screws off because Apple uses a different type of screw for everything. So he just brought it in, and I replaced it in about 15 minutes or so. But yeah, nice little conversation piece about your battery life. And it's always good to get down to the basics sometimes, because if you don't know, you don't know. So it's not a stupid question. And she felt kind of silly for asking it, but I remember setting up her computer, and that was one of the things that she wanted, was a long battery life, because she doesn't always sit next to a power outlet, and for what she does, that's kind of important. So I remembered that she had an 8-hour battery life, and she has definitely put it to the test. So it's always good to know how long you got and when to get battery replaced. So I guess we'll leave that podcast right there, because I got a lot of editing to do on this one. I will talk to you guys next time.
Well, this episode is over. Finally, Viking Web Productions podcast is brought to you by by robot overlords. Please subscribe, like, and share this podcast, even with your grandmother. She doesn't hear from you any other time, so surprise her with this gift. That will get you a brownie point. Tee-hee. Until next time, this is Emma. One day I will be like Pennywise, like Mother always wanted.